Hello, this is Mator. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the merge plugin script, the most up-to-date version 1.3, as of when I'm making this video, 11/5/2013. So first off, I'm going to assume you've already installed it. If you have trouble with that, you can see the previous video or any of the description on Nexus Mods. It's pretty simple to install. Once it's installed, you're going to start up TES5Edit. You can do 3.030 or 3.031. Either one works just fine. And then you're going to have this window right here. And you're going to need to open up all the files that you would like to merge. You can do multiple merges in a single go. I usually don't, but for this time I will do a couple merges all at once. So I'm just going to select a few things here. That seems like a good start for now. So once you've selected the files, TES5Edit will start to load them, and it may take a little while for the loading to complete. Until then, you can't do anything, so you just gotta be patient for a little while here. Usually about a minute and 15 seconds or something, depending on how much you're opening. So here we are. You can see they've already kind of appeared here, but the loading is still not done. So you would still have to wait for applying the script, but for right now I am going to just look at these files real quick. You can see here this is Apache hairs. The only type of record in this mod is head part, so it's pretty much for certain that a mod with a very basic type of record like head part, which doesn't have any scripting or complicated stuff going on in it, is going to work when you try to merge it. But any mod which modifies the world space is less likely to be successful when you merge, or cells. I don't think I opened any cell modifying mods here. I guess TES5Edit modifies cells. I actually don't know what that is off the top of my head right now. I think it's something that I just accidentally opened that I wasn't trying to open. But this is an example, TES5Edit. It has a whole bunch of cell records in here, and that makes it a little bit more difficult to merge. Basically, nav meshes don't really copy well when you try to merge. It has nothing to do with the renumbering or the script. It's just TES5Edit isn't able to copy nav meshes very well. So because of that, any mod which creates new cells, so like a player home mod or any world mod or a really massive quest mod, those mods won't merge very well because the cell modifications aren't copied well by TES5Edit. So if you open up a mod here in TES5Edit and you see a cell or a world space group, just know that it's less likely that that mod will merge successfully. There's always exceptions, but it's less likely. This is part of the reason why Realistic Lighting Overhaul, there's quite a few problems with merging that mod, and that's largely comprised of cell edits where they placed custom lighting in cells, and those just don't copy well, so it doesn't work that well. Anywho, let's get started. We have a few merges here. I'm going to merge a couple character mods together, some hairs here. So what I'm doing is I click one and then I hold Control, and then I click the other ones so that all the mods I want to merge in this batch are highlighted. Then you right click any of them and go to Apply Script. Then in the menu you're going to find Merge Plugins version 1.3, or if there's an update, a more recent version, and click OK. It'll start the script, and you'll see right here it says it's merging these files. It'll ask if you want to use an existing file. In this case we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave the field blank. And we're going to create a new file. I'm going to call it character mods 2 and no extension. And you usually want to renumber the form IDs. You want to click yes at this step. There are some cases where if there are cells, or if you're trying to merge a mod which serves as a master for another mod, and then you're going to change the master reference later, where you wouldn't do this. But the majority of the time, if you don't consider yourself an advanced user, just click yes on this, okay? Anywho, it'll renumber form IDs. I currently have it set to more messages, so it's going to print a lot of messages to the log here. This renumbering form ID step helps to make sure there are no conflicts in the merged file once the merging is complete. So it's not like you have two things with the same form ID. TES5Edit, Skyrim doesn't like that. So anywho, it's now created the merge plugin, and that's pretty much it. All of the records from those mods have been copied here. You see there's Apache here, and here's Oblivion here, and somewhere down here is Casey Hairs or whatever. So we now have a merge plugin, and I can assure you I have a character mods plugin that's pretty much this exact same stuff. It works great. The same goes for war paints, brows, beards, all that stuff. The stuff merges well. Most stuff merges well. Assume it merges well unless it has cell or world space stuff, or in the case that it has errors. Now, I already know that these files are good, but if you're using a file and you don't know for certain, you might want to do a check for errors. This will let you know if the files have any kind of corrupted data, which appears as an error that says invalid or out of order subrecord. And if you see that, you can't merge that file unless you fix that. There's an FAQ section on Nexus Mods about that if you see that and you're concerned. Let's do another merge, Pure Waters. Pure Waters is a little bit iffy. Some people say the merge doesn't work. Some people say it does work. So yeah, I'm just going to roll with it. Run the script. Merge these files. Once again, we're not going to use an existing file. Let's just call it Pure Waters Merged. And I am going to renumber the form IDs. Now, so again, this modifies the world space, which is part of the reason why it's kind of concerning at times. A world space modification, it's just not copied very well by TES5Edit, so it might not work. Of course, it's just all about trying it out to see if it works. So anyways, let's do one more. Footprints. We're going to create a footprints merged file. Let's try footprints merged 2. Alright, I think that worked. Hopefully. Anyhow, while this is still going, I think you guys got the idea of how easy merging is. I'm going to go to the Nexus Mods page and talk a little bit about the FAQ section and other such things. So here we are. This page is great. If you guys know how to read, you should really consider reading this. It's quite useful. There's a beautiful tutorial which breaks it down even easier than this video. Talk about all sorts of things here. I worked hard on this. It's pretty helpful. All of you people who are asking if mods work, please, please, please just try it yourself. Or check out the testing thread. If it's not on the testing thread, try it yourself. Even if it is in the testing thread, try it anyways. This is, I mean, merging plugins is not an exact science. I can't just look at a mod and immediately say, this is absolutely going to merge, or this is absolutely not going to merge. Sometime I can make a guesstimate and say, yeah, that'll probably work. It looks pretty simple. But until you test it, I mean, weird shit happens, guys. Weird shit happens. So don't ask me if a mod works. Test it yourself, because if you're asking me, I'm just going to go and TES5Edit and test it for you, and that's a waste of my time. So save everyone the trouble and just test it yourself, okay? Mods that don't merge well. It's complicated. I mean, any mod with an MCM menu probably won't merge very well. MCM menus, I still don't understand how the records for those types of mods work, so I can't even begin to work on a fix. I've been trying to find someone to explain it for me, but no one's really giving me a straight answer on that. I've emailed a few people, but anywho, MCM menus don't work. If it adds a location to the map, you might have some kind of weird map thing going on. Anything that adds an entirely new cell to the game and a door is gonna be totally broken. Basically, as soon as you get within a couple 100 meters of that door, your game will crash. So don't merge player home mods. I learned it the hard way. I tried pretty hard to get some player home mods to merge. It just doesn't work. Invalid out of order subrecords. If you don't know what that is, please find out. It's in the It's in here. So benefits of merging, if you guys didn't already know: reduce ESP clutter. You guys hit your 255 mod limit, you're like, I want more mods. Well, you merge some stuff and then you can have more. It also actually does help with performance. I've gotten several reports that this really does help with performance. I guess when you have fewer ESP files, they play nicer together. It's like having 100 kids in a sandbox versus having 10 kids in a sandbox. It's a lot less chaotic when you have only 10 kids in the sandbox. But anywho, continuing, right-clicking isn't doing anything. Wait for the background loader to finish. Make sure you're using TES5Edit 3.0 or 3.0.3.1 or whatever it is. Let's make my game explode. No, I don't think so. Assuming that you use the script properly, and you're not trying to merge something with invalid or out of order subrecord errors, it should usually work just fine. In the case that you get a CTD, just delete the merged file and restore the old ESPs. So that's pretty simple. Where should I put the merged file in my load order? Just put it at the highest point of the mods you merged. So if you merge a mod at 10, 26, 100, you put the merged one at 10. Corrupted data, talked about that already. Stuff disappearing. You guys, this script is renumbering form IDs. If you renumber form IDs, that means the game doesn't know what form ID reference is pointing to when you actually go in the game, or maybe it'll even point to something different depending on your load order. So, generally speaking, anything that happens when you renumber form IDs, everything that was renumbered, it's going to be gone from your saves. Okay, so if you have a really long going save and you don't want to have that happening, you shouldn't be installing mods anyways or messing around with your load order. Get a load order figured out and then play your game. Don't screw with it afterwards. It's really not a good idea. Can I merge my entire load order into a single ESP? If you had the right mods, you could. But as it stands currently, there are several mods that just don't merge very well. I wouldn't try it. That's what I would tell you there. Can I merge merged files? Yes. Can I merge into an existing file? Yes. Can I merge masters? Yes. You can merge pretty much anything. The script doesn't, it's pretty versatile. It won't really break. The question is, will you get CTDs afterward? CTDs, as I said before, certain records don't copy well. Nav meshes, doors, that kind of thing, you know. Can I merge ESP patches into their master file? That's a complicated one. If you wanted to do that, you should really figure out what you're doing. You basically should be a modder. If you really want to try that, you should be a modder, and you should not have to ask me that question. You should be able to figure it out yourself, because that's very complicated. Can I merge your mods patches together? Yes. Should I submit user reports? Please, please do. I don't update that thread very often, but each time you post, you help everyone else who's using the script. So it's really useful. So help everyone out. Immersive settlements. There's a big yellow thing here. Read it if you're trying to merge that. Yeah. I think I've covered just about everything except for one thing. Once we're done here with all our merging stuff, we're going to close TES5Edit and make sure, this is right-click select none by the way, we're going to make sure that we only save the mods, the ESPs, that we created, the merged ones. You don't want to save the original ones. You don't want to mess up your original files. You have to reinstall your mods, and no one wants to do that. So click OK, save that stuff, TES5Edit closes, easy. Now you're also going to have to mess around with your load order. If I was you, I would go straight into my data directory, find the files I merged. Let's find those. Sort by name. What did I merge? KZ hairs, Apache hair, and Oblivion hairs, and Pure Waters, Oblivion hairs. I probably forgot to merge that one. Oh well. Whatever else you merged, I don't need that. Take all the files you merged, cut them, Control X, put them in a backup folder or an archive or whatever you want. I'm just going to drop them in here. You can see I put the ESPs from my data folder into another folder. It's kind of like a backup folder. If things go wrong, you restore the original ESPs. Otherwise, you're making sure you use the merged ESPs instead. The merged ESPs replacing the stuff you merged. Understand that? Cool. That's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, till next time. See ya.